Welcome everybody to the last episode of the
Thank God.
regular season. Last episode of the regular season. I think I can speak for everyone when I say we made it. we
did
made
it.
it through a season. We won 46 games, more than both of our combined guesses. Not combined guesses. Both more than both of our guesses. That's what I'm trying to say. And we ended it on a crazy, weird night against the Bulls. Insane game, insane season, but it's on to the playoffs now. Today, we are going to, I didn't even talk to you about this, Ashwin, but I was thinking we should, just because some of these players that played tonight deserve to get a tier list for them.
A little rating from us. The random boys.
Yes, but we have to get them ready and get them on the tier list.
This is where the boys become men.
Yes, and the men do come.
They're becoming. They're becoming men.
Oh, my microphone's not even close to me. I'm so stupid. I knew something was weird. But hopefully you can hear me better now.
Let me put mine centered.
There we go. Perfect. Welcome, Headshot. Timberwolves Daily says, with Jake Layman likely having played his final game with the Wolves, I propose a tier list Jake Layman slot to be introduced next season.
Did you just propose to us?
I think Timberwolves Daily just proposed to us.
I just need some time, Man, it's all coming so fast.
It has. But yeah, we'll go through them a little bit, but then also more so we do want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next, because that's a way more important than what we're doing currently.
What are we doing right now?
Yeah, right. Tonight was the weirdest game, but it literally does not matter anything about that game. So I was really okay with any outcome for this game. It did not matter to me what happened. So yeah, 8:30 start time for games is brutal. Yes, it is. It is brutal. Although, Ashwin, this is probably a little bit better for you, maybe 30 minutes extra. Yeah.
It was a Sunday full of recovery for me.
Yeah.
And then, whoops, it's 4:45. Let me wake up, grab a brush and put on a little makeup.
Yeah.
That's for all you SOAD fans
out
there. That's probably just me and you right now.
Maybe. But, so we'll talk about the games coming up here. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing lots of playoff content. Or if we make it to the playoffs, we'll at least be doing some play-in content.
That's a reality right now.
Yeah. And we will... as much as we should talk about this game, I'm way more interested in the play-in and things like that. I'll be honest. I know we sat Cat, we sat D'Lo, and really we barely played Ant and
Ant was there.
All of them. But the Bulls barely played anybody, and they still cooked us in that very beginning.
Yeah, they played Io, Namansu, and Patrick Williams like the whole game.
Yeah, and Patrick Williams, I am not watching enough Chicago Bulls apparently, but he was crazy.
Yeah, he just came back from an injury not too long ago, and he has a really high arcing shot, and he is playing better than advertised. And he was picked fourth for a reason, but I think he's actually playing way better than his actual overall pick indicates. He's not a rookie or anything; he's a second or third year player, but he's pretty key for them. He's like their Jaden McDaniels, kind of like never going to get the ball on offense, but apparently can pop off for 40 if he wants to.
Apparently, yeah. Everybody, I saw people on Twitter saying that he is like the Kawhi Leonard of the Bulls or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's a stretch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw some people saying that.
I guess Jaden McDaniels is the Kawhi Leonard of Jaden McDaniels.
Basically. Greg Monroe, crazy game.
It was a fun game. Like the first half, I wish I didn't spend any of that time watching it, but that second half really made me feel good about just like what I'm doing right now, which is sitting here. I've been sitting here since for 4 or 5 hours, not doing anything, but watching these men compete.
We were sitting at the game, and this is a game that Maddie went to, of course. Whenever Maddie goes to the game, we have like the craziest, most boring stuff happen. Yeah. And of course, after the first half, we were down only by 20 at the first half, but we were down at almost 30 or maybe more even at a point. And me and Maddie were like, oh my gosh, please get us out of the second quarter. It was insane. But
oh my god, yeah. But then Dessa came on halftime and changed the course of this game. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on Dessa.
I've heard of Dessa, but I don't know Dessa.
Have you heard of Doomtree at all?
I've heard. I don't know anything about them.
You know that rebranding year where we changed our flags? We changed our Tom Thibodeau season. Mm-hmm. They had this huge like canon of an intro where they had all these like rappers and hip hop artists like Atmosphere and Prof and POS, which you don't know anything about apparently, but they had this huge anthem. It was really fun, and it had yep.
It
was a really cool 3-minute montage video of KG era, and then they here's why we have this new rise with us with our new flags, and here's our new drobe, and they look like fucking aprons, and here they are. So Dessa's part of Doomtree, and POS is part of that too. Who cares? It was awesome to see her because that was super random in my opinion, but she's from Minnesota, so
it was a little random, but for me, I don't care about anything that happens at halftime unless it's Red Panda or Dog. So that's literally all I care about. But we did get Wolves Rubik's Cubes at the game today.
What? That's the weirdest thing.
It was so random. I didn't know that was going to happen. And then we get another. Oh, I don't know if I have it close to me. Oh, I do. I'll go grab it. We got another towel.
Another towel.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's pretty cool.
So I've got towels now. I've got
towels.
Rubik's Cubes. We got it all.
Dude, the towels are interesting because that was what we did in our playoff days in the 90s. But then now everyone's getting shirts and shorts and shoes and shit, and then we still have just towels.
Yeah.
I remember when we got into the playoffs in the 17-18 year, we did towels.
Yeah.
What are people doing?
T-shirts are way better. I really wished that this was going to be a T-shirt, but headshot. I'm sorry, I can't. These are mine. I want these. I didn't get any extras. Sorry, they don't let you take extras unless.
I don't know if I showed this, but I'm gonna show it again. Oh, look at that.
There we go.
There it is.
But I want T-shirts, but maybe they'll do that for the play-in game. Who knows?
I hope so. Hope it'll be fun.
That would be fun. Rubik's Cube is so random. Yes, it is. Headshot.
Yeah. As is, you didn't catch this on the broadcast because you were at the game.
Yep.
We apparently had these care packages for media members that are going to be voting for all NBA and awards.
I saw it on Twitter. The cat ones.
The big Kit Kat bar. This Funko Pop of cat.
Mm-hmm. Golf balls.
Is weird. Huh?
There was just a sleeve of golf balls, totally unbranded.
Yeah. Unbranded?
I don't think there was any branding on them. I think it was literally just a 3-pack of Top Flights or something. I don't even know.
Yeah. It was a pretty cool hat or cap or whatever people call them
these
days.
It said 60 on
Head
it.
Covering. It said cat with 60 on it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What? What are we doing? Do we know who the audience is who's getting all this shit? They're going to just be like, here, kids. I don't even have any kids. I'm just going to throw this away and not vote for Cat.
We're lobbyists.
We're lobbyists. Right.
But also, on the kind of same note, Cat called himself the MVP.
I want to change the subject. I want to immediately shut you up and never have this conversation.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that, and let's also I shouldn't have even acknowledged it, but
no, you did.
That's troublesome.
Here we are. We be coming.
I don't like that. Well, cool. You want to
that cracked me the fuck up, man.
You want to jump into the tier list?
Jake Erickson has that Funko Pop.
Oh my gosh,
Jake! I have some news for you. I work for. There, let's see if it works. Maybe it doesn't.
Oh,
there it is.
It's showing up as us. Interesting. Okay, that's another new thing we learned about StreamYard today.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's cool, Jake.
Let's do it. Let's get into the tier list so that we can I mean, to say this in the nicest way, get over it. Get it done with. But one thing I want to do, which this is going to take way too much time. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through each one of our episodes, count how many A's, A1s, B's, C's that everyone got, and see who got the best grade of the season or something like that.
I like
that.
Might
take some time. If somebody feels like doing that, feel free to do that. Yeah, but I do not expect you to do that.
Off our plate. Let's do it for us.
But it'll be interesting to see. And at some point, I don't want to do this today, but we do have to do some kind of like a season-ending tier list that just has like our entire grade for the entire year, not just a night. That'll be really tricky. I was thinking about it a little bit at the game tonight, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need more time to think about it. But we should definitely do that at some point. So
I love that idea. I love the fact that you're just throwing on some more work for us. That sounds great.
Exactly. Well, we're not going to have playoff games, so we'll have plenty of time.
Yeah. We need some off-season content come Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, that could happen that quickly. Oh man. Okay. Well, as you can see, there's a million people in the up next, and unfortunately, I didn't add Greg Monroe, so we're going to put Ed Davis in there again.
Yeah, this is what we did last time, too.
It is what we did last time. Yeah. For the playoffs, maybe I have to step up and make a new tier list that has
apparently, he's playing for us. 3.5 or so months ago, he played for us. And he went around the NBA, 4 different teams or something, came back to us.
Yeah.
Almost signed permanently with the Utah.
Yeah.
Or Milwaukee. Or, like, what? That was so random.
He's been everywhere, but he looks so good in the remix blues.
He looks good in the blues.
He does.
Yeah.
And boy, did he look good tonight.
He has some Vando handles to him, but he looked all right in the paint. Yeah, I really liked him. As a different look altogether from Cat and Nas. And by the way,
very different.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing like 4 versions of you right now, so that's why it's like a little weird. Nathan Knight not being eligible to play in the play-in game is kind of pissing me off.
Now
because while we held on to this like slot for another player, Nathan Knight has been there this whole time, and we've always been clamoring for another look from our bigs, and Nathan Knight has always been available to do that, and he's never really been bad.
Yeah,
and he was our best player tonight. Like, spoilers.
He really was. He was. You know, I've kind of been, I mean, I don't want to say tough on him, but I mean, he's just looked really raw at times this year. But tonight, I mean, like, that was insanely fun. Watching him, it was like, the crowd was even like, give Knight the ball. They were like, it was like how we normally do for Jake Layman and like screaming for him to get the ball. It was like, get it tonight. And gosh, it was electric. I mean, he was dunking. He was hitting threes. There was so many things going on. Yeah. I just can't get over it.
The first thing he did was hit a 3. That was so stupid. That was so awesome.
So weird. And also he played. You know, he did get a couple fouls, but overall, like his defense wasn't that bad either. I don't know. It was like at least better than I expected. I'm not saying he's like some lockdown defender, but
he's a big, thick boy. He can't get pushed around very much. That's awesome to see. And then, his defense is awesome because you can't drive into the paint against him.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of like, if that was Cat, that dude who was running right into Nathan Knight would have gotten the layup and an and one. Yeah. But Nathan Knight just like stood his ground, was like a big boy, and he didn't move.
Exactly.
I was just thinking like that would have been another foul for Cat.
I know. It was just. It went from one of the least exciting games to one of the most exciting games, just very, very fast. How do you spell Chicago? Why am I stupid?
I'm glad we had this game to close out the season too, because, man, those recent wins that we just had were really, really sad. And I didn't mean to rhyme like that, but like we barely beat the Spurs and whoever the hell we played. Other than that, like Rockets got cocky midway through, humbling us to our core of, you know, being really, really young and adolescent and like unproven. And Cat at the helm doing that for us. So it was nice to see this game full of just young, energetic players wanting to play for the playing time. Also, potentially for future contract considerations and all that stuff. They might not be with us, long term here, but a lot of these players gave a shit tonight, and that was really, really important. Because this was a game where I think we needed this type of energy to push us into the play-in season. I remember like COVID days when we had all of our stars out even for chunks of time, like them caring about the team, them like bonding over the fact that we're not able to play and get experience for the youth, for the other guys, the bench players who don't get much time. Nathan Knight, so deserving of playing time, gets a chance to just shine tonight. That's awesome to see.
It really was. Before we get into the tier list, last thing I'll say about the game is, the beginning of the game, obviously we were down 20, 30 very quickly. Not like, it took a quarter. Like we were down 17-7 right out the gates.
Yeah.
And then it was like 21-9. It just kept getting worse. But at that moment, I kind of was like, man, we might get throttled in the playoffs. Like even though I know Cat's not in, I know D'Lo's not in, and that is a big difference. Even though D'Lo has not been playing well lately, there's no denying that he is a big part of our offense. Also, Cat not playing. When does Cat never play? That never happens. He's always playing. So to take him out of your offense obviously is going to change things up in the beginning. Ant wasn't good to start. Ant's never really been in that position to be the person on our team. So super weird. But I had lost a lot of hope. I was like, man, I had kind of thought that maybe we had some fight in us. And I know that the Bulls are hurt and we're playing like a hurt lineup, I guess. But I was down. But to see the bench, the deep bench, and not only the deep bench, it was like we had our entire bench in, and then Chris Finch just kept one by one going one further down the depth chart.
Right.
And kept coming back. It was like, this is insane. Like when he brought McKinley right in, I was like, oh, he's waving the white flag.
Yeah.
And then we got even closer. And I was like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the beginning of the game made me lose hope for the play-in. But the end of the game, it did, because I do think the Timberwolves team does need to be humbled, not in the ways that the national media thinks that we need to be humbled, but like I do think we do need to be humbled. We think, if Cat thinks he's the MVP, he needs to be humbled. If if Ant thinks that the way he's playing, Ant and D'Lo think that they're playing well right now, they need to be humbled. There's like things about our game that need to be humbled. But the end of the game was just so fun to see us come back. I think there's a very high possibility that we were down by a lot to the Clippers. So to see that it is possible to come back in a game, I think will be a morale booster and something that carries us hopefully on Tuesday. But anyways, this is going to be the weirdest tier list, but we're just going to have to blaze through it because there's so many people.
Let's start with the starties too.
Start with the starters? Yeah. I agree totally. So let's do Vanderbilt, who did like basically nothing in 14 minutes. At 0 points, 3 rebounds, and assists. That's it. Jared, I don't think we can sign Nathan Knight for the playoffs. We have a full roster. Sad. But
let's hide this comment because I'm so sad now.
But yeah, so where were we? Jared Vanderbilt.
D.
Yeah, D. It doesn't really matter. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, that was just nothing from Jared tonight. Patrick Beverly got ejected. 5 points, 4 assists. That's really all you need to know. Probably also a D, right?
Probably. I think
maybe
Spark was like, why am I playing if Cat and D'Lo aren't playing? Let me just get myself out of this game right quick.
Yeah, that is a little bit what it felt like. He did get, for some reason, the crowd, which was actually into the game in the very, very beginning, by obviously halftime was very, very out. But when Pat Bev got thrown out, the crowd was like roaring. It was
for sure.
Cool. And it kind of shocked me because I thought people were just so disengaged and they're like, I don't care anymore. No, they cared. And they were like ready for Pat Bev to get thrown out. I don't know. It was really weird.
I'm sure he wasn't going to get much more playing time after that, anyways. But I think it was fun to see him kind of show a little bit of emotion in a game that didn't really matter. I would also say that I'm a little concerned about if he's getting his 15th or 16th technical or something like that. I'm
I was thinking about that too. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, and so if that's the case, I don't want him to be missing a pivotal play-in game versus his former team in the Clippers. I don't know. That was all kind of scary and like suspect, but
I know.
Well, he got too quick. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
And he kept going at the ref too. That's where I was like, oh, he's going to get suspended if he keeps doing this. And then he pats the ref's butt on the way out. I was like, Bev, you just have to stop. You have
playing with fire. Playing with buttocks.
Yeah, Jake Erickson says, I saw someone comment when it's the last day of school on the Pat Bev ejection. That is very true. That's very true.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Big fat D for him.
Big fat D men. What do they do, Ashman?
I don't know. I forgot. It's been too
long. Next up, Malik Beasley, 8 points. That's it. He was also a D.
Let's go. Let's go home.
This is great. Anthony Edwards, 8 points. Nothing else. Probably a D.
Let's go. I have nothing to say. He shanked his 4 threes, and he didn't look like he cared about the game at all.
Yeah.
He obviously was the best player on the court that night, or at least for those minutes that he was out there, but he didn't care.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't care.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought process too. I was like, I know that he shouldn't have even played in the first place. I have no idea what Finch is thinking because Ant looked so good after he took the rest the first time. It's like, let's just let him rest. We play on Tuesday.
Patrick Williams playing 44 minutes, right? Like
that's crazy.
He just got back from injury.
Well, the thing is that the Bulls, I think I have seen a little bit about them recently, and it sounds like they've been kind of down and bad and been losing games. And I think they wanted to play, although they did rest most of their starters, if not all of them. They
did all of them.
Yeah, all of them. They were desperate to have some kind of good vibes going into the playoffs, I guess. Are they in the play-in? No, they got to be the playoffs. They're a 6 seed. They're in
the playoffs.
Yeah. At the same record as us.
They're the 6 seed. They were the 1 seed for
so long, yeah.
Oh, man. What a free fall.
That is a free fall. That's bad. They ended up with the same record as us.
Kind of reminds me of us, in the 17-18 season when we were like the 3 seed, and then we just dropped into game 82.
Great comparison, because that feels very accurate. Man, that's crazy. Last of the starters played the most minutes tonight. Second most minutes, actually. Is Naz Reid. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, 6 of 10 shooting. I mean, I guess I'm not like hating this night. There were moments still where I did not like what Naz was doing, but meh. I mean, maybe a B.
Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, I don't remember him scoring much at all because the whole second half was all about the others and mostly like Naz Reid not playing, and it was Greg Monroe and Nathan Knight together on the court at the same time. That was crazy. So. Good. Actually, what happened was I bet you Naz Reid just like scored because no one else was scoring.
Probably he did it. Yeah, he did a couple threes now that I think about it. But, yeah, that's weird. Seeing 14 is really shocking for some reason. Well, yeah, I think a B is fair because we don't probably expect him to score that much, and nor do we expect him to be our starting center. That was really weird to hear the in-arena announcer announce him as the starting center. That was so weird. But yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Hearing Naz Reid, I don't even remember what he said about Naz Reid because whenever he introduces Cat, he says the post with the most.
Yeah, he rhymed for Naz Reid.
I was like, I don't know what is even happening. But, anyways, there's your starters. Now we get on to the fun part. McKinley Wright did come in, didn't play much. He only had 2 assists and nothing else. But he was a +3 because he came in at that moment where, like I was just saying, where it was kind of exciting. Honestly, I don't think there's much we can say about McKinley Wright. I don't think he even took a shot. I think it's got to just be a C probably. I don't know. What do we expect? Nothing out of him. So he had nothing.
Yeah. There was an interesting play where Nathan Knight did a no-show to Leandro Bolmaro and then held the ball, gave it back to McKinley Wright for some reason. McKinley Wright just gave it back to Bolmaro. I'm like, oh yeah? Why did you just give it to Bolmaro in the first place? Like his role was to just be there at the end of the game, to kind of have minutes. Like I don't think he had any plan. And I don't know, I haven't really seen him do much in the NBA anyways, so I don't think he had the confidence to take a shot or confidence to drive to the rim.
Yeah.
I feel like Leah and Nathan Knight had a really cool 1-2 game going, and Jake had some spark as well in him. So like McKinley Wright was there for defense, and that's maybe what I remember him most from the whole season, was that one play against the Pacers or something where he dropped in like a preseason game. Right.
Well, I wish we would have seen more of McKinley Wright throughout the season. I know from the beginning I was saying we got to see McKinley Wright. We got to see McKinley Wright. And, I mean, we probably saw a total of like 20 minutes in the season. So, love to see more. Maybe next year. I don't know how his contract works. Honestly, our team's going to be so weird in the bench and deep bench next year because we have 4 draft picks going into this year and 3 of them are seconds. It's weird. It's just so weird.
Those are going to be Euro stashes probably, or trade bait.
Probably trade bait.
Offer contracts and who knows.
I imagine trade bait, but
and teams like the Lakers don't have a pick. Teams like the Rockets, I don't know. Do they have picks? I'm not sure, but like they got
a second for. But we'll trade 2 seconds for Dwight Howard and. Oh no, Dwight, is he still on their team? I can't remember.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony.
And we'll just wait for them.
And Russ. No. Don't want that. Yeah, I think a C is fair for him. I do hope we see more of him next year. Next up, who is up next? Oh, well, this is kind of awkward. We're going to go in a different order. Let's do Jaden. Yeah. Let's do Jaden next. Jaden, where are you? He played 17 minutes at 8 points, 2 blocks, a steal, an assist. I mean, for the minutes that he played, probably pretty close to what we expect. So I guess I'd say a C.
Give him a C. The best thing that happened is that he didn't get injured. I was kind of like, why? Also, is he also playing? Torian Prince gets the DNP as well. You know, like Jaden could have like just had like 4 or 5 minutes here and there, and that's it. But like, yeah, 17, 18 minutes is quite a bit for him. I'm glad he made that 1-3 he did, and that's all I remember him doing. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, he had that. He had that awesome block, but that was like during a pretty stupid time when no one was making anything for us. So.
Yeah. True. All right, next up, let's do Jalen Noel. Jalen Noel did score the over. I guess we didn't go over that today, but he did score the over in our Discord. He had 15 points, 2 assists. He was 6 of 12 shooting. The typical Jalen Noel stat line, 50%. 3 of 5 from 3. He was aggressive. He looked good. Honestly, I guess I'm kind of tempted to give him like a B.
You know, I would be tempted to do that as well. However, it was funny to watch when the exact moment when he stopped being aggressive was when Nathan Knight and Leah Bolmaro came out. He just had the ball. He didn't have the ball in his hands anymore. He didn't want the ball in his hands, or they were just kind of running around without him. And I wish he was more assertive, because at one point, you know, Jim Peterson was like, I'd really like to have, you know, Jalen Noel on a 20-point half, and then boom, 3, boom, 3, boom, you know, 2 and 1 or whatever it was. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then we didn't see anything more from him. So I'm on board with giving him a B, but just like there could have been that extra mile, and then that was almost like we were kind of waiting for it, anticipating it, and we didn't get it, you know. So.
Yeah, I agree. It did feel like when he did start, like obviously I didn't hear it on TV, but when he did start that spurt of scoring, it was like suddenly like he's taking over, you know, kind of like we wish Ant would do, where he's just suddenly like Jalen Noel, bucket. Right. And you know, I still think he's got some Shabazz like mentality, but I think he's a more successful version of him, and a guard instead of a forward. So, yeah, I think a B is fair. I mean, the scoring, he led the team in scoring tonight. Not that there really was an importance on being a leading scorer tonight for anybody, but I mean, we had such weird production. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double figures, so crazy. But Jalen gets a B. So yeah.
Carson Rudsill asks, specifically you, are you guys going to the play-in game?
I am going to the play-in game.
Nice.
Section 205. I will be there
205.
early. I don't know how early. I will not be there late because I will be coming home to do the show.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I am very excited for the play-in. Maybe too excited, but I am excited to go. I understand we're playing the Clippers, and the Clippers should beat us. They shouldn't have Kawhi. It'll just be Paul George, Norman Powell, and yeah. Oh my gosh, the Denver Nuggets are choking. Sorry. But yes, I am going to the play-in game. Long story short. All right, who's up next? Let's do. This is so weird. Let's do Jake the Snake Layman.
Charles Cobb, really quick, says he wishes he could go, and they hope that we beat the Clips. We will get into that pretty shortly here. We're kind of trying to run through the tier list, which is a thing we do nightly here on the Built from Day One show, where we rate players based on their performance of the game, not overall the season. But we'll get into that later, and maybe in an off-season kind of show.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, for sure. I cannot wait. As much as I am excited to watch the play-in and hopefully a playoff series, I am just very excited to talk about off-season stuff once we get there. So,
yeah,
cool. Jake Layman, 10 points in 16 minutes, 3 rebounds. He was perfect from the field. He hit a great 3 that got the crowd out of their feet. It was insane.
It was awesome.
A plus 16, tied for the team lead in that. Are you ready to grade Jake Layman?
Yeah.
I am I guess, yeah, I'm ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1. A. Yeah. I was hesitating to say A, but then I'm like, wait, no, it's on there. What we expect on that individual player, and I expect nothing out of Jake Layman, or maybe one crowd roaring 3 just because they saw him get off the bench. But no,
it almost should be a B because he put that putback in for
he did.
The other team.
Perfect for both teams.
He was perfect for both teams. That's right. But he's a treasure.
Man, if he doesn't put that back, the game is so close at that one point.
It would have been tied at that one point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It would have been tied. Oh, that makes me sick. Could have had 47 wins.
Well, I'm not losing any sleep over this game. However, you were at the game, so maybe you were wanting something kind of special at the end.
It was
kind of shipping in to be something kind of fun. You know, like it was going to it felt like, oh, it could be our game. You know.
Yeah,
like they're playing their starters to the ground and all that stuff. So I was like,
yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it was fun, but I did not care about the outcome. I just kept looking at Maddie and laughing whenever we did something because I was like, this is just hilarious. But also there were so many
Maddie was like
fans there
pointing at the game. You're like, look at the game. Don't look at
it. Yeah, Jake. Not A1. Oh my gosh, I almost said
Oh
A1.
my god, what were you saying there?
Almost slipped.
Men do come.
Almost slipped. But, as Timberwolves Daily said, maybe we look at some sort of a Jake. I mean, honestly, Jake Layman tier, although the tier list may change a ton, there may not. There may still be a very good section for a Jake Layman type section because it's like party time, celebrating the wave, all that kind of stuff. That's the Jake Layman tier. So,
all right. He had that one layup, and then he had that whole like celebration where the dude is small defending him, and he was feeling himself. And I'm happy for
Jake Layman did that.
Layman. Yeah,
he did the "You're too small."
Yes.
No, he did. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So that's an A tier on his own, honestly. So good for him. Let's move on here to Ed Davis, a.k.a. Moose, a.k.a. Greg Monroe.
Everybody that's watching, we know that this is Ed Davis, not Greg Monroe. We love Greg Monroe. It's just not that easy to add people to a tier list. I have to make an entire new one.
It takes so much work.
But anyways, you want to read oh my God, Greg Monroe's stats?
Ed Davis's stats were 18 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 free throws, a couple of rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 pretty silly turnovers, all on his own. 9 points. What's your grade?
I I'm going to be different than you, I think. Maybe this is just the difference between being at the game and seeing it on TV. I'm going to say A.
Yeah, that's very different than what I'm going to give him, which was a C.
What?
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
expect
sorry.
this out of Greg Monroe?
Yeah. Rust, down low, like 10 points, 10 rebounds type of effort. That's what I'm expecting out of him. Even without a game plan, without a team that he knows the first names of any of them, that's what I'm expecting out of Greg Monroe.
Oh, I wish we would have had a tier list in the Discord tonight. I'm so curious to know what everybody would have said. Chat, if anybody's even here, I'm not even looking. You have to give me
second
a
he put
grade.
the ball on the floor, it was over. He had
was
no idea what he was doing.
Center. He had 5 assists.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right.
Finding people cutting.
All
He
right.
had a great cut, and then he was finishing around the rim. I mean, I don't know. Also, this is Greg Monroe we're talking about. We're not talking about like Nas. Like I expect more out of Nas. I don't know. I felt like this was a good game. Maybe A is a little crazy, but definitely a B for me. I feel like there's no way.
A little crazy.
There's no way I go C. No way.
Well, you have the power here ultimately. And
I do
Charles
have the
Cobb,
power.
new to the show, Charles Cobb. Are you the inventor of the Cobb salad? I'm sure you get that a lot. I'm sorry. I'll shut the fuck up.
B. Greg Monroe is an MVP caliber player. Have to hold him to a higher standard. Yeah, 6 cents. Yeah, I don't know. I guess because Charles said so, we'll go with a B. I'm sorry, Charles. Ed Davis is a B. Who's up next? Let's do Leo. Balmaro.
He goes by Leah.
Oh, does he? Oops. Well,
because he doesn't have an O in there.
LB had 11 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He was a plus 15.
3.
What'd you say?
He made a 3.
He did make a 3 that everybody went crazy for. I think they thought it was Jake Layman, but everybody did go crazy for that 3. I couldn't believe it when it went in because I feel like he's been clanking 3s this year. I thought this was a really good game. Similarly, I feel like I'm going to have a higher grade maybe than you. I think this was way more than I expected out of Leah. But yeah, I thought this was a great game. I'm honestly going A.
I'm going A as well. This was awesome. This was fantastic. He brought a huge jolt of energy into the lineup when he came in. It was like maybe an 18 to 20 point lead, and he brought it down to what, 2? Yeah, pretty crazy. And Charles Cobb agrees with us.
Balmaro was a stud. Aston's office hours, yes.
I just feel like, there was even some plays where he would have had more assists, more opportunity for impact, where Jake wasn't ready, or Jake flashed a little bit too soon, or Monroe wasn't ready for the ball. However, Nathan Knight was just like how J-Mac or Baby Mac and Naz Reid are like together. Nathan Knight and Leah Balmaro had this like chemistry going that predated this game, and it was really fun to see. And it's like, I remember when we were 7 and 45, and I'm just caring about the little things that can like spark interest. This is something that was really fun to this is my takeaway, is that not the future is bright or whatever, but like next year, if we can retain these players, there's some already budding, teamwork happening from these two.
It's our pastime, watching plays and players like this. This is Timberwolves basketball. It was a really fun game.
Yeah, LeBron sometimes gets called the bum. Well, Leandro is going to be called Le-A.
Le-A or LB9. It's just illegal for him to wear 9. I can't stand it. Also, to be a European player and wear it 9 as well.
And be white. Yeah.
You can't. And be white. Can't do it.
And be a point guard and be pass first. Yeah, and have no shot. Yep.
It's unacceptable.
Also, did you check out that when Baby Mac and Leandro Balmaro were on the court together? It looked pretty nice.
Yeah. Speaking of Baby Mac, he's up next.
Because they wear the jerseys 6 and 9. There it is.
They do. Oh, I see what you're saying. I was really confused as where you were going with that. Baby Mac had 19. Oh, nope. He had 19. He played 19 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He made his only shot he took. That's about it. Honestly, I don't have much to say.
Neither do I.
So I'm going to say a C.
Let's go.
Now, our secret weapon for the playoffs, Josh Okogie. Josh Okogie played the most minutes tonight. Oh, no, he didn't, actually. He was second. I knew I was reading that wrong earlier. But he had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block. He was 5 of 7 shooting. He was driving every chance he had. Did have 4 personal fouls. Are you ready for a grade for Josh?
Yeah, man.
Maybe I am too. 3, 2, 1, A.
Hey, yeah. I want more Okogie in my life. I feel like he can be a difference maker on the court. We might be struggling to defend anyone in the play-in game, specifically against the veteran-laden team, the Clippers, who will just probably kick our ass if we don't respond in a way that they're not expecting, right? I think Okogie can stop Jackson. Easy. I think Okogie can defend Batum pretty fucking easily. But more importantly, there are 2 players that score a lot right now are back. Marcus Morris and Paul George.
Yeah.
So we're going to need someone who's not going to be as foul prone as Jaden McDaniels. And, Torian Prince is great and everything, but I don't think he's starting. He's off the bench. And Vando, once you're going to get your 2 fouls, you're not getting boards for us. I think Okogie has this, extra leap to him and maybe an extra, little incentive to just outperform his role.
Yeah.
I would love to see him have significant minutes in the play-in. However, I don't know if I want to necessarily gamble right now. So
I know what you mean. At the very least, though, he is somebody that can defend well, is long, and could be somewhat of a punching bag of fouls, because then if you have him foul out, that's just Josh fouling out, and then we have Vanderbilt. We have other bench. I mean, Torian Prince. I don't even think Torian Prince played today.
No, coach's decision.
Yeah. But there is just an option then for that to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. Josh played great tonight. He's been playing great lately. And just as you said, I think it could be exciting, or it could be an interesting thing to do in the play-in / playoffs. But exactly like you said, I just don't know about gambling right now. But that's been Finch's thing all year. He just changing the lineup constantly, changing rotations. It's always changing. So
that's right. I don't know how I feel. It's like just seeing the time he gave tonight was like he gave a lot. He gave a lot of heart tonight, and that's always been his mantra. I remember when he goes to the rim, the ball falls out of his hands. The ball that he doesn't know how to put it in the rim, but he was on tonight, and he had some cool putbacks. Yeah. And if his role offensively is diminished and just very specific, get O boards, be a Vando player, that's good. But he can also stand in the corner, which is good. Vando can't.
Yeah.
While Jo might not necessarily make the shot, he can.
Yeah.
Stand in the corner.
He has a chance. Vando doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. And Godfrey says, Okogie guarding Batum. Well, we got it. I don't know. We don't necessarily need Okogie to be guarding Batum, but if Okogie's out there, he needs to guard the player who's probably killing us the most right now.
Yeah. Or one of, at least. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you were saying, I mean, they have a lot of weapons on the Clippers. So, I mean, they've got PG, they've got Jackson, they've got Morris, Powell. They have these offensive options, and we're going to need defenders, because if we don't have defenders, then we can only hope that everyone's shot is on. And as we've said a million times this year, when have we had everybody's shot on at the same time?
Never.
Yeah, never. So need to have a defender in there. But I still, and we'll get to it in just a second here, I still just, the Clippers game is going to be so difficult. But last player of the night, Nathan Knight, 15 minutes. Oh my God, he only played 15 minutes. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 7 of 12 shooting. Did have 4 personal fouls, but he was also tied for a team high plus 16. Are you ready to grade Nathan Knight?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
A1.
For a loss, I don't know if we've ever given an A1 before.
I don't think
Maybe we have. Maybe we have. But that was deserving because he jolted our offense. He ignited fast breaks. He had and ones. He had a 3. He did it all, and he's a two-way player. I am embarrassed to say he's not eligible to play for us in the play-in game, where I feel like we're going to have a very routine 2 fouls by Cat in the first quarter in the first 4 minutes. Yep. Nas comes in, gets 3. Yeah. We put Greg Monroe in for spot minutes, and then we put Cat in the beginning of the second, and he gets his 3rd.
Yeah.
And then we don't know what to go from there because now we have 10 minutes of Greg Monroe minutes.
Yeah. Which apparently you hate Greg Monroe now.
Apparently. I went from wanting him to C tier.
Yeah, now you're...
Get him off my
spot. Yeah. I think that your prognosis, I don't know what the right word is, of the game is exactly what's going to happen. I think, the 2 fouls, then we're going to put in Nas, he's going to get a 3, and then Cat's going to come back in and do some stupid, grabbing, pawing thing that he does. Oh, he's a cat, he paws. That's perfect. But paws at the defender, and he gets 3, and then we're just screwed by halftime. So, crazy. Wait, why
the Clippers are so big, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Chicago Bulls are not.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the other thing is that it's not like the Bulls came out tonight and they were some unbeatable team. This is a team that we probably should have beat handily. If we're really thinking about whether or not we want to be a deep playoff team, which I think Ashwin and I are on the same page. We both believe we are not a deep playoff team. More so, I'm leaning at this moment. We're kind of a 60% only a play-in team, 40% we maybe make it to a series. That's kind of where I am right now. Maybe less, maybe 65-35. But yeah, I mean, this is just a team that we shouldn't have lost to. Sure, it's exciting to come back to, but they sat their entire starting unit, and we didn't. We did rest Cat and D'Lo, but I mean, I think we still should have not been down by 30 at a point. So. Yeah, so there's the tier list for tonight. I don't think we missed anybody. We missed Rubio, Jarrett Culver, Dave Benz, Jim Peterson. But yeah, that was the game.
We ended the season record-setting points scored by a team in the league this year. So we were the top. Embiid was the player scoring title. We were the team scoring title. What are your thoughts on that?
That is, I guess, probably not very surprising just because we scored so many points on so many nights. I mean, I feel like we probably could count on our one hand how many games we scored under 100, I can't even recall a game, it's kind of insane. To the same point, I'm sure I haven't looked at this stat, but I'm sure that the points for and points against are probably not that well. Maybe they are. I mean, we gave up a lot of points this year. I mean, just most recently, you think of we scored 149 against the Spurs, but we gave up 139. So it's even when we score a ton, that's where in the regular season you can kind of rely on your scoring. But the defense, I don't care about a scoring title going into the playoffs at all. That means nothing to me.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's fun for the fans to be around a high-scoring team throughout the regular season. And, that's fine during the regular season. But then, I mean, you just have to be able to lock down and beat teams 120-90, not 150-130, It needs to be locked down. Now, can we lock people down in the playoffs? Maybe for a game, maybe. For a series, I don't think so. So, Yeah, what's your? I guess so. I like to speak in kind of like where my mind is going, how I'm feeling at certain times throughout the season. It is time. We are at the play-in game. I have had mixed feelings throughout the entire year when we were in the play-in situation for nearly. I mean, we've been in the 7th seed forever. Other than that one day we were the 6th seed, we've been in the 7th seed forever. When we were in the play-in, I was like, nope, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose to the Clippers, and then we're gonna lose to the Lakers. Lakers aren't in, but the Clippers still are. I felt so down against the Clippers. Now I still feel pretty down. I wouldn't say before I was like, oh, it's a 99% chance we lose. I'd say right now I'm closer to like 85% chance we lose. And then the next game, it depends on who we play, but it still is concerning because if it's the Pelicans, they've beat us multiple times this year. So, how are you feeling going into the first play-in game?
Yeah, pretty 50-50. And I want to be more enthusiastic about it. I'm really, really excited about the game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We were 3rd all time this season in 3 points made in a season. Probably would have been 4th had Utah played a full season, 82 game season. They crushed it in a 72 game season, truncated season last year.
Yeah.
Why I'm speaking about this because it happened tonight. We didn't make the RB's 3 promotion or whatever.
We didn't.
We are a regular season team.
Yeah.
We outshot people all season long, all game long. And when our shots weren't there, it was so evident that we have missing pieces. We are clearly a team with holes in our roster.
Mm-hmm.
And we are making do and potentially outperforming our expectations because, yes, we doubled our win total. We were expected to win 34 games, and we went to 46, 47.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But I feel like Portland years ago had like the all offense, no defense mantra. They had Enes Freedom Cantor out there as their center.
Yeah.
Yusuf Nurkic was down, and they had no defense. It was all offense, and I think they had Robert Covington for a year or so. They couldn't do anything. They could only outscore, and get kind of embarrassed in the playoffs outside of one little play-in series or a playoff series versus OKC. All that talent, all that offense, sayonara.
Yeah.
See you next year. So this team has even more potency, like record-setting, like levels of efficiency, which is feeling weird as a Timberwolves fan to see the stats come back and say things like that. Mm-hmm. Because I don't believe it. We swept like eight teams this year, mm-hmm. in like a season series, one of which was not the Clippers. We lost the series significantly, and yeah, maybe a couple games here and there we didn't have our stars, but they didn't have their stars, and they kicked our ass.
Yeah,
129, 102, 104, 84. When we are bleeding, we bleed. And we can't stop.
Yeah.
Apparently tonight we tried, and we played our bench unit, and they inspired us.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Clippers, they're not gonna like let us in.
No.
In a game like this, game 82, when we're playing like third tier players, they're gonna they're gonna let off the gas pedal, mm-hmm. and they're gonna allow teams go on little mini runs. The Clippers are stacked with veterans, and this is like their kind of, not last stop in the NBA, but maybe next to last stop in a lot of players. And so, like, Reggie Jackson's not going to play for another team, really, in my opinion. Like, he's going to play, like, 8 minutes, spot minutes, Jeff Teague level minutes on a team in some other destination. This is it.
Yeah.
And like, maybe next year, they're going to be back and at them with Kawhi Leonard. Now their Paul George is back. Their ambition is high, and they say, "Oh, we're just a 7th seed, and now we have Paul George." The world can be defeated. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, the first stop is Minnesota. They're just not even looking at Minnesota right now.
Yeah,
I think they're feeling pretty confident. I think there is a level of expectation that needs to happen for our team. We are several games above them in terms of win production, but like, yeah, okay, we're beating OKC, Portland, and Houston, whatever, right? So we're there. But we just need to match their energy, and we need Patrick Beverley. We need all of our A1 players that have hit an A1 mark throughout the season on our tier list to be A1. Because if they're anything less, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I also think that I guess I don't know. I was going to say maybe we need to throw the first punch and get a nice lead out in the beginning, but then we kind of rest a little bit at halftime and let teams come back, and this is not a game where they're going to be like, whatever, like we'll get them in the next play-in game. They're going to want to win this. They don't want to play. I mean, they don't want to play Phoenix. They want to play Memphis. Because they could probably beat Memphis. They might even be able to beat the Suns. Who knows? But it's this is different. I mean, even though we have had Towns has had playoff experience, it was very bad. And he needs to learn by going back multiple times. So this is why this is almost just like a blank slate the first try. We need to get everybody initiated into playoff basketball where your flaws are magnified by 100.
Yeah.
And not only that, there's no mercy. So it doesn't stop. There's not like, Ant can't dribble into the lane. They're going to be like stripping him. He's going to have 10 turnovers if he tries to do that, And what's going to happen then is he's just going to stay back, chuck threes. It's just bad. And, Towns, really the same thing. He can have, there's all these, every one of our best players, other than maybe Patrick Beverley, has a flaw where they can be exploited just like dangerously to the point where, like you were saying, there's not going to be a point where we can stop the bleeding because it is going to be, we don't know how to fix that. We just don't know how to stop that from happening.
Yeah. Well, that being said, what's really awesome to see is Jaden making the three, mm-hmm. Jordan McLaughlin making the three, Naz Reid being able to make a three, and most importantly, Malik Beasley is back. Mm-hmm. And I remember a few games ago, maybe even a month ago, we were talking about X factors, and I was talking about just our bench in general. Someone was really like hard pinned on saying Malik Beasley is our X factor. He's not probably going to be starting, but he's going to be our gunner, and they're going to have to pay attention to him. And there's going to be points where we're going to have to shift our lineup in the middle of the game just to feel who's like ready to play for us and who's going to like close out the game. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea in a lot of ways of like having Malik out there, Ant out there, Patrick Beverley out there, even D'Lo out there, Taurean Prince out there, Cat out there. Like let's play 6-on-5. But like, I don't know, like Beasley out there is giving us that extra dimension that we've been looking for and we'll probably need to rely on because I think our paint defense is going to be a huge point of exposure.
Yeah.
And so can they make it 2? Can we rebound, transition, just go 7 seconds or less and make a 3?
Yeah.
Can we get into an offense set quickly so then Cat has the lane to drive to? Mm-hmm. Can Cat make his threes with any consistency? Like there are so many like layers to this game.
Yeah.
But like the Hartenstein and Zubac matchup versus Cat is sucks, man. Like we have an MVP, like self-made MVP, like all NBA player, and he's gonna get kind of crushed on by European white dudes.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's I'm nervous, but man, I'm excited. I also cannot believe that it's in 2 days. It feels like it's going to be like a week or so away, but it's like now it's happening.
Yeah, which gives even more. Well, that was confusing. Okay, there it is. It gives even more like intrigue to the play-in games because they're happening so quickly. Mm-hmm. Gives the playoff seeds more time to rest, which means get to the 6th seed. Like be a 1 through 6 seeds, then you don't have to do this and you have extra rest. Actually, what happened in previous years before the play-in game or play-in tournament was it would be starting within 48 hours. Like those teams that played on Sundays, they're like always like, what the fuck? I have like 48 hours rest. That's it. They can't even prepare. They can't even really fully prepare for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So that game one is always like kind of a crapshoot. Yeah, get into the play-in. Get out of the play-in. It's really, really important. I like that. I actually kind of like the fact that it's like right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you can see, I pulled up the whole play-in tournament, all the everything. If I had to guess here, I think I do think the Clippers win against us. I think that is the safe bet if you're a betting person. I think that just makes sense, even at Target Center. I understand that our players are going to come revved up, and we have, to give our team credit, there have been games throughout the season where we marked it on the calendar and said we are going to win this game. There was Miami Heat game that was a big one. I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting, but the 76ers game. There's these games where we were like, we are going to win this, and we were the inferior team. We weren't the team that should win those games, and we did. We fought, but we also in those games had really good performances from players that we did not get every single night, and we are going to need that. I won't say it's impossible to beat the Clippers. I'm not saying that at all. If we beat the Clippers, I won't even necessarily be. I don't know what the right word is. My opinion changes so rapidly back and forth on this game.
I will be over the moon. So I hope you'll be joining me.
Yeah, I will be so happy in the post game. I will be insane. To have a play-in, just to be in a playoff series, to me will be so valuable just for this team. I don't even care about the results of an actual series. I just want to be in a series, and I will be super happy because that is a big win. Obviously, for the fact that it's a play-in game, but also just the fact that it's a one-game series against a team that is better than you.
What are your thoughts on the God himself, Wombat, saying that we winning? I'm telling you, he's telling us. So why are we worried?
I don't know, because I know the Timberwolves. But I do think, like I was just saying, there's definitely a chance that the Timberwolves could get a win. I don't, and maybe me saying 85-15 earlier was maybe a little bit too drastic. But I do think it leans towards the Clippers winning this game. So we play down to our competition. So I think we're better in the playoffs. I think we play to our competition regardless of skill. I think we play down, we play up. That's why we can play better in big games. That's why we also play way worse in bad games. So it'll be interesting to see this team in the play-in and playoffs, hopefully. But if we lose, let's say we lose to the Clippers. Godfrey says I'd be shocked if we beat the Clippers. I don't know if I'd be shocked. I was kind of gauging that in my head. I don't know if I'd say shocked because if we win, I'll be like, wow, that was a good win. But shocked might be like too far. I don't know. But if we lose to the Clippers, then we go on to play either the Pelicans or the Spurs. How are you feeling about that game? It obviously depends greatly on who we're playing. But how do you feel on that game?
I feel better about the Pelicans than the Spurs. The Spurs are very, very switchable, and they probably have an X factor that we are just not going to be ready for. I don't know what it is yet, but the Pelicans, while they might have more, veteran laden roster composition with McCollum and all that stuff, I feel like they're a little bit more predictable, and also they have Willie Green as their coach.
Yeah.
Who is he? Like, what? I know who he is, obviously. I know he's played in the NBA 20 years or whatever, but I think that we would have the coaching matchup. I think we have the better 3 out of the 5 players that, if you were to rank the top 5 players in that series, that one-game series, we'd have 3 of them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like both of those matchups, obviously, way more than the Clippers. If one of our first games was against the Pelicans or the Spurs, I am not sweating. I mean, I'm worried because it's a play-in, but overall, I'm feeling pretty good. But I guess here's another way to phrase it. How down bad will you be after we lose to the Clippers, or if we lose to the Clippers?
Well, the prize is playing Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
So all I want is to see this team grow, and grow in a sweep would happen. If it happens, I'm going to be okay. We'll be drunk anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want this team to grow, man. I will be down, not out. I've been thinking that Phoenix could always come back down to earth. I don't think they're probably as advertised, but I just have this weird suspicion that, when the game clamps up on them, they might not be able to make their shots. It's just Booker and CP3 at the end of the day. Those others, can Cameron Payne actually score 15 points a game? Fuck no. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So, in at least in a 4-game series, if they win all 4, we're going to see a lot of adjustments on our end, and that's going to be really fun to see. But against Phoenix, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
so
Phoenix...
I'm really, really encouraged. I'll be shocked if we win against the Clippers as well, but I'll be over the moon if that happens, and I'll be super overratingly high on this team's chances versus Memphis.
I know. I see, and that's the thing. Funny enough, I guess it's because I've already accepted defeat against Phoenix, but Memphis, I know everybody is super, super excited about the possibility of playing Memphis. I am just not that person. I am not there yet. I am extremely nervous to play Memphis. Now, sure, do I want to play them rather than the Suns? Yeah, of course. But I just think the Memphis one could be so soul crushing to so many fans. I think it just, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about Memphis, but yeah, I guess here's kind of my answers to all the questions I gave you. If we lose to the Clippers, I won't be so down bad. I'll be okay. And then if we get into a series with the Suns, I'll be fine. I'll be happy. That's a win for me. That's a win on the season. We got into the playoffs. We're going to get some experience, unfortunately, against the best team in the league this year, or one of the best teams in the league this year. That would suck. If we lose both play-in games, I think I'd be really down bad. I would have been less down bad if it were the Lakers beating us. I mean, that would suck. But the Lakers, if they were fully constituted and at full strength in every way, should beat us probably still. And that would feel more, it would just be frustrating at the system. But if we lose to the Pelicans or the Spurs in our second play-in game at home, by the way, yes, Aston, second play-in is at home. We've got both home games. I'm going to be so down bad if we lose both games, man.
Well, what have we been wanting for this team? We've been wanting a little bit of change.
Yeah,
we've been wanting a little bit of adjustment in size, and we want to be exposed because then we can clearly see. And basically, Gupta has the papers handed to them, specifically targeting these holes on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we won't have a 4-game series or 7-game series to define those holes exactly, but hopefully he's been watching the games, and hopefully he's been seeing kind of under the radar moves that could be happening. Based on prospects, based on overseas players, based on draft picks or moves that could be made. Teams are desperate to make decisions in the offseason leading to the draft, and they're going to make bad ones. I think with being exposed comes a chance for redemption and a chance for Sachin Gupta to make a move of any kind other than hiring some random staffer. And of course, notoriously hanging up on a girl, a little boy. Sorry. Well, prepubescent.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm cool with it. Either way, man. I will be saying this. It's gonna suck hard. Whoops. It's gonna suck to lose 2 games in a row. But I think it will come. There will be redemption. I said
yeah.
This is getting hard. This is getting harder. It's just so hard right now.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though, and you said it good though. if we lose both, there's going to have to be change, or just insane soul searching to the point where if we aren't successful early on next season, it's going to change. So, overall, I'm happy with the state of the team.
I'm not there yet, though.
Overall, I'm happy with the state of the team because we have, and I've said this multiple times, but it's just becoming more relevant as we get closer to the off season, regardless of how good or bad we do in the playoffs. We have options. We have options if we suck, if we need to go a totally different direction. We have options if we want to build and try to get vets to help us get a deeper playoff run. We just have those options. D'Lo's on an expiring next year. I mean, Josh's, that doesn't really matter. But, we have these, or Josh's on is expiring this year.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just options for us to go different directions depending on how we do in the playoffs, play in, good, bad. There's options. And that just makes me happy because last year at this time, it felt like there were no options. So I was down bad after last season. I was contemplating fandom. And I am back and I'm excited. I've got my Rubik's Cube, so I'm all good.
That's when you thought you were out. Game 82 gives you a gift.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gives you a puzzle already solved.
Yeah. Moises says, if we lose both play-in games, then serious changes are needed. Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't have to have those conversations. But I do want to, I think I need to, for my own sake, to close it out here, I need to, for my own sake, pep talk myself into not being so down after we potentially lose to the Clippers. Because it is that's a very likely possibility that we lose to the Clippers. And just because we do doesn't mean we suck. Obviously, the way we lose can tell you a lot about it too, but I just don't want to, after Tuesday, if we've lost, go into Friday and feel defeated because, hypothetically, we should be either one of those two teams, 9 or 10, going into that. So this is just a good test. But at the end of the day, we're playing meaningful basketball. We've played meaningful basketball almost all year long. It's kind of what it feels like to be a regular basketball team. So
I just had this thought, man. We're not a regular basketball team. If any team can beat the Clippers in a play-in game, it can be us. It should be us because we are so randomly different.
Yes, yeah.
We have a chucker who is reluctant to chuck at times in D'Lo. We have an Ant who has the gifts of God and is compared to Michael Jordan, but he shows up when he wants to, or if a layup goes in. And we have Cat who can pop off for 60 at any given time from 3 primarily. And if he has his head down, just doing work and shutting up without stray voltage, he's the best player on that court. Sorry, Paul George. It's actually Cat.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of motivation, and it kind of has just sparked from this conversation, honestly, that we could be really maniacal and talk really down about this team and the changes need to happen. Mm-hmm. When the changes needs to happen, that's the time to talk about them. Right now, I feel pretty good about our chances to compete, which is kind of stupid and kind of not really assuming anything or saying anything. But I think that we're not going to lose by 30. We're not going to lose by 20. I think it's going to be a very very, very close game. And in terms of if we win or lose, we'll have another shot. We have 2 outs before we're out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so winning 1 of 2 feels better than winning 1 of 1.
Yeah.
Well, Godfrey then. Damn it, Godfrey.
We're going to lose both playing games. It's going to be because of bad defense. And honestly, if we lose both playing games, it will be because of bad defense. You're not wrong there. But you're right. I like that point. We are a random team because we do have the capability of beating literally anyone in the league, any team, on any given night. But that doesn't mean every given night. That means when we choose to, and who's to say that isn't against the Clippers on Tuesday? I think it is possible we won. Like I said, I won't be shocked if we win. Maybe slightly surprised. I don't even know if surprised is right. I think it's possible, but either way, I'm excited for Tuesday. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be at the game. with Maddie and my dad, and my aunt.
Wow.
So we got the whole family there. We're excited. We're all sitting together. And I'm excited to just hear a loud Target Center crowd. I hope we have some good moments in the game. So
yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Well, we will be back on Tuesday night after the late Tuesday night, because the game is at 8:30, and so the game won't be done until probably 11 Central, and then I have to get home. So it'll be a little late, but we will be doing a show. We'll probably talk for like 17 hours. But
until the next playing game.
If we win, the shows never stop. So I may never stop streaming. But if we lose, we're going to talk for a long time and we'll never see each other again. But yeah, that's it. Well, if you're new here, if you're watching the VOD, feel free to leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be doing this after the playing game, which is going to be crazy.
Yeah, right in a final score, right in what your box score is going to be. Like, are we going to win? Are we going to lose? In the comments, it'll be fun to see.
Yes, the secret comment this time, if you've made it this far, an hour and 15 minutes into the video, is leave your guess on the VOD for what you think the final score will be, or score of like a player or something. Give your prediction, your bold take for the play-in game. But Moises says we may actually win. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But that's it. Any closing words from you, Ashwin?
Intro is the outro.
Intro is the outro. We don't have the intro. I'll have to figure that out still. 52 wins.
Still in play.
Still in play. And we will see you on Tuesday night after the Wolves play the Clippers. All right. See you Tuesday night.
What is happening?